Hi, welcome to Box on the Box Rock and Celluloid, Bot Brack for short. I'm Edward Box. So, just a little review. I thought I'd put this out there. So, I went to see the Ballad of Song Birds and Snakes yesterday, the Hunger Games prequel. There's been some sort of mixed reviews for this, but my wife's a big Hunger Games fan and she wanted to go. And I was like, yeah, I like the Hunger Games films, although I kind of, I don't know if I caught the very last one. I was kind of annoyed when they split the last one of the original films in two, and it was kind of the first part was kind of a bit, where are you going with this? But I think the Hunger Games are interesting. I think of all the YA adaptations, they are clearly the best. The Twilight Saga, the first Twilight film, is a good teen film, but it declined after that. The last one. I think the thing is, the Hunger Games films are not patronise its young adult, young teenage audience. It's gritty, it's pretty horrific, and it was a star-making role for Jennifer Lawrence, although she seems to have backed off from the stardom thing. You just had a properly good female lead in it, and very good casting. And the films, they have an interesting look and an interesting dystopia. So in this prequel, it's basically about President Snow, the early years, Coriolanus Snow, well played by Tom Blythe, and it explores basically his family's lost its fortune. It's in the Hunger Games were running about 10 years, but they're kind of sliding in popularity. He's studying university at a college. He's trying to win a prize which will give him money, I suppose a bursary, so to speak. And they have to mentor the new contestants. They call it the reaping, the tributes. And that's it. And he gets put in charge of the character played by Rachel Zegler, who you'll know from West Side Story and the controversial forthcoming Snow White. So this is again directed by Francis Lawrence, who's a director I think solid. I think he's a filmmaker with a good eye. His films have nice compositions. They're well shot. The cast good. The supporting performances. You've got Viola Davis, who plays this batshit mental scientist. She's really good. She's pretty ripe and quite interesting. Jason Schwartzman's good. He's basically the host of it, and it obviously is the precursor to the Stanley Tucci character. Peter Dinklage plays the inventor of the Hunger Games. He's good and he's very Dinklage. He's got a big beard and it's good. I think you got to give credit to Rachel Zegler on this. She's really good in it. She actually sings a lot in her character. Sings. It's kind of woven into the plot, and she's got a really good voice. She's kind of singing in a kind of more country twang. There's a lot of backlash against Rachel Zegler because of the Snow White film, which hasn't come out yet. She sort of said stuff in the media. I think it's pretty cool. She's 22. She's been thrust into stardom, or thrust into a big film. She's very good in West Side Story. It must be hard to navigate. But like I said, I think she's really good in this. Tom Blythe's good. He's got kind of Donald Sutherland's eyes. There's quite a bit of ambiguity in this. I think the structure would be funny to people. I'm not a bit spoiler. You kind of have the Hunger Games element of it, and then that finishes, and then the film carries on basically. But it's too long. It's 157 minutes. This could have been a 2-hour 10 movie, maybe 2:15. But it is good. I quite enjoyed it. I think I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I like the Hunger Games films. I liked this enough. I thought it was interesting enough to kind of warrant it being a prequel. It shows how the idea of that. But what it's really about is having the audience have a vested interest in the contestants. And it's really about what are the true meaning of the Hunger Games. I kind of do like the dystopian world. The technology's kind of weird. It doesn't quite work. It is quite Orwellian, definitely, in some of its imagery. Some of the CGI, in the cityscapes is, can maybe be better, but it's not cheap. It's $100 million film, but I think the company's made it very wise. It's Lionsgate to not spend loads of money. There's a big problem with films costing too much at the moment. They spend 100 million. If they spend 100 million on promoting this, it will only need to gross 400 million to break even. It's only grossed 100 million. It may not get that far, but I suspect, as it rolls out onto streaming and VOD, this film will turn a profit. Whether there'll be another Hunger Games prequel continuation of Snow, we would have to see. It's quite interesting that the Snow character, because there is a degree of sympathy with him. He's not the evil person of Donald Sutherland, but you can see the elements that will basically lead in that way. It's really about power structures and getting a position in the capital, so to speak. But anyway, I think if you enjoy the Hunger Games, this is worth checking out. If you've not seen the Hunger Games films, well, there's no point. But the Hunger Games films are worth checking out. Okay, so that's my little review of The Ballad and Songbirds and Snakes. There you go, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks very much.